Hi Namgay.
Oh, namaste.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
How are you? Namaste.
All
So how are
great.
you?
Thank you.
All great. I hope the COVID situation is not that bad in Bhutan with you right now.
Yes, everything is fine as of now.
Okay, we are so glad to have you with her today, Namgay. Of course, you've achieved a great feat in your life, and you deserve all the congratulations for that. And I'm
Thank
sure
you.
it must be very difficult, and that is why today our audience, will have a lot of questions for you, and we would love to hear about your journey of clearing the Royal Civil Services examination. Firstly, because I believe a majority of our audience is not aware of what are the differences, because there's a huge craze about the Indian civil services, but of course there's a lot of difference between the Royal Civil Services of Bhutan and the Indian civil services. So that is my first question to you. How are the Royal Civil Services of Bhutan different from the Indian civil services?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kartika, for the question. Uh, Once more, namaste and kusu zampola to all the viewers uh, of Ecoholics. First of all, thank you, Ecoholics and Kartika, for inviting me here. To introduce myself, I'm Namgay Dorji from Bhutan. After completing my high schooling, I came to pursue BBA LLB honors from Jagran Lake City University, and after my graduation, I appeared for RCSC, that is Royal Civil Service Examination, and recently the result was announced, and I'm here today with you all. It's such a pleasure and privilege. Thank you so much for inviting me. To move on with your question, if I have to share what I have known about RCSE, that is the Royal Civil Service Examination, first we have P, that is preliminary examination, with the objective to shortlist candidates for the main examination and ensure standard required of a candidate. Uh, we are permitted to appear P up to a maximum of 3 attempts only. And B, the questions we get is all objective type questions to test English and Zonka communication skills, logic, analytical, problem solving, and data interpretation abilities of the candidates. Only those candidates who achieve minimum cutoff marks, which is decided by RCSC, that is Royal Civil Service Commission, that is until now it has been like 50%. So if he or she um, gets 50 or above 50, then they can sit for main examination. Then we have main examination, the 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 objective to test with the objective to test the candidates core competencies and subject or general knowledge for final selection. Then a candidate can appear main examination up to a maximum of 2 attempts only. Unlike for P, we get 3 times, right? And as part of the main examination, we have Viva voce. For Viva, it's based on an oral interview, bilingual in both Zonka and English, and other sometimes they ask other regional languages as well, which is conducted by a committee consisting of a minimum of 5 members appointed by the Royal Civil Service Commission. The primary factors they test upon are manner and disposition, language proficiency, intelligence, analytical ability, organization of thoughts, and competence. Um, and I think this is all. Then result comes.
So it is much like the Indian Civil Services examination,
Yes,
only given that it looks like it is much tougher because you only get 3 attempts in that.
yes, yes, yes. That is the difference, you could say.
That's really good, and I'm really impressed. So, for all of you who don't know, I've known Namgay for a long time now. I guess 3 years. I've known Namgay,
Yeah.
and on a personal note, I invited him to Ecoholics, and he's been gracious enough to come to our show and share his experience. Of course, he's very busy; he has to join the training very soon, but still, he agreed to come to the show, and. Of course, we have a lot of questions from the audience as well. But still, I have a lot of questions to ask you myself because Bhutan has always fascinated me a lot. So, also, we did this show together. It was about 50 years of Golden
Yes.
Jubilee of Bhutan in
Golden
India,
Jubilee of
and yes.
in the
So
Bhutan
I
relations.
so Namgay was organizing that program, and he was gracious enough to invite me to it and to make me a part of it. And I got to
Yeah.
know so much about Bhutan and how interesting a country it is, and one of the most important factors that it is a carbon negative country, which is very important. Which is a very important point to know as of today. And anyway, so we'll just
Thank
keep
you. Thank you so
on
much.
gossiping a little in between.
Back then
But
also you
I have
were
a
host, right? Today also you are host.
yes, I
It's a
was I was
nice
made
thing.
the host of that.
Thank you so much.
So we'll get back to our personal conversation in between, and I'll give the audience a glimpse of what has been our life together. But I have more questions for you, and we'll just move on to them. So tell me, did you always want to be a civil servant? Was it like a childhood dream of yours?
Okay. Okay, before that, so many friends of mine from all the way from Bhutan are asking me not to move. For your information, I am not moving. The wheelchair is moving. Okay. Uh, yes, I can say that I have always dreamt and I wanted to be a civil servant. In Bhutan, I think everyone, everywhere, it's like that only. In Bhutan, from the very first day we joined our school, our parents would always say that you have to study well. I don't know. So that is kind of a inbuilt uh, thought, inbuilt kind of dream in everyone. Everyone hope and dream about it. So likewise, I'm no different with all my friends. So I have also always dreamt of being a civil servant, not just uh, that one. I also like, as you know, we have again in university itself. I have initiated so many kind of the pages like give a little, make the difference, to help others. And then we have another. I have another page called Pension Scholarship for the youth by the youth. So from very early ages, I was always fascinated, working for society in all every little bits. I try to help my friends, my community, my society, even if it is just like picking up papers or like planting saplings. So I just wanted to like give back what I have, what my government, my parents, my community, all near and dear ones had given to me. So I think it's right time after graduation to pay back to the society, to all those beloved ones to whom I owe much, everything, almost everything.
Since civil services are a really tough nut to crack, I mean, this is a universally accepted fact that when you are put in charge of one of the most one of the biggest positions of responsibility in a government, of course, you have to be really tough and you have to be of a really sound mind to be there, and that is why the selection process is so tough. So that is, many people along the journey lose motivation, but you have cleared it in your first attempt. But I know it for sure that it takes a lot of motivation and a lot of discipline above and beyond that motivation to clear an examination like this. So what kept you motivated so long? Namgi is
For
having
me,
Namgi is having a difficult time because I've never talked to him like this. And here we are sitting in this live session having such a formal talk. He's having a hard time comprehending what I'm saying.
Okay. So uh, everyone in Bhutan and in other regions as well. His Majesty, the King of Bhutan, he has been like inspirational for almost all of us. So we are inspired by His Majesty every day, every time. So looking at the great deeds done by His Majesty, as I always used to discuss with you all when we are in the university. Back then, Kartika used to work in the university, JLU. So, like His Majesty is always there for his citizens whenever there is, an earthquake or a flash flood. He will be the first person to reach there to console the wounds, giving hope to the hopeless, building homes, and we have always seen this, giving so much to his citizens, and His Majesty has been our ideal. So we always wanted to, we always try our best to at least give something back to our community. So His Majesty every day, as I said, motivates me. At the same time, my mother, she is always there to to while I was preparing for this civil service examination also, she would always come, every morning. She would come and wake me up, and then she would come and wake me up, and then remind me, the importance of doing this examination and all other stuff. Likewise, my brothers and sisters, all they would come. My brother was in fact, my brother would always every morning, he would come with a cup of coffee, and then remind me. Sometimes insult me. Sometimes make videos of me when I'm, still like sleeping. So everything was like. Everything motivated me, and my friends, of course, my friends would always call and then ask me whereabouts, where are you, what you're doing. It's high time you should study more, some kind of things. So I'm very thankful to all my friends, my family, and then I think I won't be able to thank them enough. So everything was motivating, and of course my friends, my faculties, my professors. So I'm very thankful to all of them.
Also, I remember having this conversation before we did this Instagram live. You telling me that a couple of your siblings have also been working as civil servants, and you'll probably be the third or the fourth person to actually join the civil services
Fourth
from your
and
own
fourth.
family. Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes. We are a very huge family. I have 8 siblings and I'm youngest. So it was my turn, probably the last
And
few.
four
My
of them to
family.
be in the civil service is such a huge feat. I must, this is a huge compliment to your mother, I must say.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, for our audiences who don't know, Namgay completed his graduation in India. So, he did his schooling in Bhutan, but he has completed his graduation in law in India.
I don't, maybe I'm not the right person to answer all this, but I have been there for last 5 years. So I have seen a lot, I have heard a lot in my very limited experience. So the very striking differences that I saw in education system is mm, in Bhutan everyone is let's talk about schools. So in Bhutan everyone runs after government owned schools. So everyone wants to. Their first preference is in the government schools. In India, what I saw is that if the parents could afford, or if the opportunities are there, everybody
Mhm.
wants to join public school, right? The private
Private
schools.
school. Yeah.
If, yes, yes, yes. If they can afford the fees, they wanted to always join private schools. So that is something very different I felt when I was there. And then the schooling, um, the kind of prayers and activities we do, and everything is very different. Maybe because of the different religions we follow. So there are lots of differences, but the very striking difference is that one actually. In Bhutan, everybody wants to be admitted in a government-owned school, and if they don't get that opportunity, then only they will just prefer. And it's same like the universities as well. And then in India, but the schoolings, they always wanted to go for private if their parents are wealthy enough to send their children to the private schools.
That's a really
I think that
great thing. That's a really great thing if people themselves want to choose public schools that are maintained by the government. That means the government is doing something really nice, and the schools are really well maintained, and the standard of education is really good, and that is why they are drawn towards the public schools more. That's a really commendable thing in Bhutan. I would like to comment on that. And moving on to our next question, let's not delve too much into it. Moving on to the next question, the best of both worlds. So we had an extensive conversation about how Indian civil services are, where we discussed. So there were some similarities, like even the Bhutan civil services are done in three phases. Like there's a prelims, there's a mains, and there's a interview round, and same goes for the Indian civil services as well. But now that you know the best of both worlds, what are some of the things that you will want to take from Royal Civil Services of Bhutan and apply into Indian civil services, and what will be the vice versa? So I just want to know the best things about the two services.
okay.
Like, what is something great that Royal Services of Bhutan has but Indian Civil Services doesn't, and what is something that Indian Civil Services has that Royal Services of Bhutan doesn't?
Okay. In my opinion, I think both the examinations, civil service examinations, are having its kind of pros and cons. But if I have to select something very nice about each one of them, like uh, for Bhutanese civil service examination, we get 2 times for preliminary examination, 2 attempts, and then for main examination we get around at max we get two attempts. But when we discussed about the UPSC, I think the attempts were a little bit more,
Six attempts.
six.
Six attempts for
Yes.
UPSC.
So I think in Bhutan also we need to increase, at least like for PE, if it could go to, if not six, it could go at least like 4 or 5, and then for main examinations, two is very less, I must say, because it is sometimes very difficult for PE to clear it in just two, because if it could be like 4 or 3, then I think that will be really great. And one very nice thing that we are practicing, that is not in just from my personal view, we don't have any reservation system in Bhutan. So that is like giving equal platform, uh, equal level platform for all the candidates. So I think if UPSC is not having kind of any reservation kind of systems, I think that would give a level playing field for all the candidates. So that would be one interesting change that I would love to see. But it's nothing in my hands, so just it's my opinion. And then age limit is different for both the exams. So I think we could also have, for India we have kind of age limit. I think
Yes, there's
if he
a
is in a good health and if he is below
30.
um,
30 or 32, I think it is. I'm not very sure about it. Um,
that is
so,
too early, right? If we could go a little bit up, right? For us we don't have any age limit, so uh, a civil servant can serve up to 60 or 65, something like that, in both the countries. So if he is in a because joining and serving as a civil servant is a fundamental right. It's mentioned in Article 7 in our constitution, in
mhm.
Bhutanese constitution. So it's free for all to join. So if till their last ages, years to serve the country, if it has been like a dream for them, I think government must give an opportunity for them to at least try their luck and be in it, so that they can give a better service. With experience comes wisdom, and I'm very sure they will do great. So I think this could be done, and the rest,
Do,
I don't find much differences. It's all same, both
more
the
or less the
examinations.
same.
And one uh, very great thing is that the kind of hard work our friends in India they put forward for this examination is so much. It's I think words cannot even describe that. So that is a very great culture and a very competitive kind of work they are doing it. So I think in Bhutan also, with every year after year, the competition is always increasing. So I'm very sure one day, one fine day, this kind of great culture that is competition, working so hard, Jan laga ke, what we say, that kind of uh, um, hard work. I think if they put forward, I think that will be great.
That's really great. What you said, I totally agree with. India has an altogether another craze of UPSC, because I've seen it myself going to Delhi and seeing the environment in which the people live and study so much to just be a part of the civil services is huge. So anyway, moving on to a little on a lighter note, because this was like too intense a talk about the studies and everything.
Hmm.
Because you've been in India for 5 years, what do you love most about India?
Oh, thank you for this great question. Uh, India is a great country. Everyone knows that. And the culture, everything is beautiful. And I really enjoyed being there. I have met so many great friends and families. They treated me like their own. And then the, there are n number of things to describe about starting from the greetings we all do there. While I was there, I also used to do that. Namaste. This kind of cultures are really interesting. And then even pair chuna, that is like charan chuna, and even
Yeah,
when we are doing telephonic calls, on through calls also, um, those families like my friends, and then I have seen them, virtually, they would say that मैं आपकी चरण छू रहा हूँ, something like that. See. So when they
yes.
meet in reality, they would touch their feet and then get blessings. And then even when they are doing like kind of WhatsApp call, they would say that मैं आपकी चरण छू रहा हूँ, something. So this kind of cultures are really heart touching, and I really appreciate it. I think this kind of we also do kind of bow down and all, do we do that, but not to that extent. So, and then celebrating lights, Diwali, and then colorful festivals like Holi. Holi, by the way, it looks really nice in Karan Johar's movie and all thing, but in reality, it's not that much fun. You would know it.
You
But
you cannot
it's
recognize the
really
person after
yes, yes,
they've played Holi. It's like all black and blue. They don't look as beautiful, colorful. I remember
yeah,
you guys did that. There was a Holi session and you were all playing. Even though it was dry colors, it was hard to recognize you guys after it.
yes, yes. That one is all fine, but putting lots of water and then cheering each other's clothes,
Clothes.
it goes to another level. So then we have Rakhi. This kind of cultures are so nice actually. A brother promising to protect his sisters. So I was really amazed with this kind of cultures and being able to be there with my host families, my brothers and sisters. So it was really touching, and I think this everything was beautiful. And then more, and, and I think we can go on, even the structures, the places that I have been in Rajasthan, the structures are so great. The temples in Mysore and the Agra, we have Taj Mahal, the most beautiful thing on the planet. So I think India got almost everything, like from the mountains till the oceans. I really enjoyed it. So I think it's a great country. And then I always wanted to visit again, but let first get rid of this corona. Then I'm very hopeful that we all can meet again and then
Of
enjoy all
course,
those
after the
wonderful
pandemic.
festivals.
I really want to comment on this, Namge, which I feel, you've been in India for only 5 years. I was born and brought up here. Still, I can say that you've seen more of India. He was such a travel freak, going going places on every opportunity he could get. He's explored India more than I have. Like, even though I also love travel, but he has explored more of India than I have. Am I right?
Yes, yes. Actually, I like traveling a lot, not just because I'm from Bhutan. Actually, India, we all know it's a huge country and population wise as well. And then in every 100 kilometers, the language changes, the personality of the people living there changes, the food, the kind of language they speak, the behavior itself changes, and even all the religions that we have in the world are being, followed by the citizens there. Followers of all the religions are there. So it was always fascinating for me to travel, and then I don't read much. So through traveling, I used to learn a lot because when we travel, we meet different persons. So it was always a golden opportunity for me to discuss things. So during Diwali and winter vacations, I I never used to come back home. I always go. Sometimes I go to Rajasthan, sometimes Goa, sometimes Mysore, Hyderabad, Dehradun, and in the northern places like yes, Dharamsala. So it was a really fantastic journey, I must say. From each journey, I used to learn a different thing, and then meeting different people, and then trying different dishes and culture, wearing different clothes. It was all amazing. So that is the reason why I always like traveling.
Okay. There are a lot of questions coming from the audiences. We'll have to take them up soon, but I have a couple more questions on to the questions by
Okay,
the
sure.
audience. So, since you've achieved such a great feat in life, Namgi, to qualify the services
Thank
in
you.
your first attempt, and that too with a prestigious rank. So he was ranked fourth in the Royal Civil Services examination. It must have taken a lot of hard work, I'm sure. Do you have any study tips for the students?
Um, I think all must have done that for my preparation, like kind of tips, because I think it depends with the individuals, right? Because my way of studying, it won't be a very it won't serve very well for others, and the best tips that some others may give won't work so well with me. So I won't really kind of suggest tips, but if I just share what I used to do, I think that will be more uh, uh, relevant here. Like when I was in university as well, like when I started my um, studies in the law school, whenever I used to watch some videos, although, like I said, when I travel, so whenever I meet or read something, even if it is a very short article, if I think that that is going to be relevant or helpful for my RCSE, that we all know that we are going to sit for that examination and we have to face it. So whenever something that is relevant with this examination, if something interesting or unique thing comes up, I always dig in. I go through. For example, when I was in India for in my first year, I wanted to learn Hindi, and then I was watching Bollywood movies. And then after some time, I thought that if I wanted to learn language, I could, you know, the better option was like listening to ghazal and Hindi poems, shairi. So I always listen to old ghazals, and then whenever I don't understand some words, I used to Google it and then look for the translations. Then through that, the beauty of the language, and then the most beautiful, I, I must say that the greatest, the most deep words, I could learn that way. So it was really helpful. Likewise, um, even if you are watching a movie, then you could always, you could always think that that could have been something like that, or why did the writer, the actor or the the team must have done that way. How, what if it is done something like that, so I would always imagine in my own way. So this kind of learnings really helped me. And of course you have to do study, and then you have to study with this books, and then stick with the syllabus and all. But this kind of things, and then listening to others, like in my university back then, my friends would always want to escape the lecture series, but I would always wanted to be, be there and then listen to the speakers, and then so that was my interest actually. Even if it is on a Sunday, I would go there and then be there and listen to them. So this all things were really helpful while writing the exam, answers. It all came, one by one. I think we if we, this is helpful, and if you think that you could do something like that, I think this proved really helpful for me. So I suggest this kind of tips. And rest kind of tips is that you should sleep on time, you should eat on time, then whenever you get time you can study, right? You have 24 hours, so sleeping is very important. I sleep a lot. And eating is also very important. Without having good food you won't be able to do well. And rest, I think it will be taken care.
Okay, Namgi, that was a great study tip session. But we have a lot of questions from the audience, and I think we should quickly answer them. They're coming one after the other. So, one person is asking, what were your subjects in the 12th standard?
Oh, I took science stream, and
So, physics, chemistry, maths.
yes, and then biology was also part of it, but I dropped bio because the book itself was so thick. So I thought I will do away with it. I took
What
maths,
a great,
physics,
what a great reason to drop a
and then
subject. Funny
and
enough, funny enough, you dropped biology because of the thickness of the book, and then you took up law in India, which is like the thickest books
yes,
ever.
yes. Because I have always wanted to uh, pursue law as my career. So I thought biology has not much to do with it, but maths, I felt mathematics was more important, so I just took it. But now I feel that I should have taken both the subjects, because I would have little bit knowledge of bio as well. But I enjoyed it thoroughly. I don't have any regrets. Maybe in next life I will study bio as well. So I took science. So like you said, physics, chemistry, bio, and no maths, English, and Zonka. That were all.
Okay. There's another question. Are there any challenges and lessons you came across that groomed you into who you are right now?
Pardon, please.
Are there any challenges and lessons you came across that groomed you into who you are right now?
Okay.
Hmm.
If I got it correctly, everything was very challenging for me, because the and every subject I studied from like primary schooling days till now, every subject taught me, and then every day it all the subjects kept me, um, making who I am today. So every day it was kind of evolving. I was kind of going through lots of changes. So of course, all the subjects were not so easy, and especially when I went to India to study, and then all the subjects and the environment, everything was very different. So it was not so easy, but accepting the challenge and then going forward, understanding the importance of failure, and then keep working in these very small ways you could, it was really helpful. And then when I came back and then started studying right after my graduation, when I started preparing for the all the laws that I have studied in India for last 5 years were all about Indian constitution, family laws were all about Hindu and all things. But when I had to write exams for my RCSE, most of the questions that were asked were from the the constitution of Bhutan, and then all laws I had to study. I had to study for myself, So it was all difficult, but I really enjoyed, and I still um, like to, go deeper, and then get all the, kind of lessons that were put forth.
We have a very interesting question, and I think a lot of people will relate to this. They're asking, since you ranked fourth in the RCSE, a person is asking, sir, were you an average or intelligent student? Because I'm lower than average. What do you have to say about
Hmm.
that?
That is a very good question. um, if I may recall, till 10th standard, I used to get very excellent marks. Like I was always one of the whole section toppers. I was always top. I would always top, especially like subjects like Zonka, that is our national language, and history, geography. Those subjects I used to top in the school. But after 12, my grades were not that great. Um, Maybe I was not working hard. Maybe I was more kind of sleeping and relaxing. So I would say, and then if we talk about the grades that I had earned in the university, my grades aren't not that great. It would always be like around 65, and it's always below 70. So I was very average, I would say, while I was in my university. Sometimes below average also, but most of the time I would stick at the average. But it always, like I said, like following your passion, and then you have to take your own decision, like what you should know what you are going to do, and then being um, motivated and having complete confidence in yourself is key to everything. So even if you are average in your class, it does not matter, because the examination you are going to do is something very different. It's a completely another set of questions that you are going to attempt. So if you are studying smart, and then if you are able to sort out what things you need to focus on, and then if you just make a path and go with it, then you will easily be able to clear those exams. You will be able to write the answers easily. Then you will get, great marks. But studying hell lot of things, and then if nothing comes from that, then it's, even if you are a topper in the university or in the class, in the school, it does not matter. So I think even if you are average, or even if you are below average, even if you are backbencher like myself, I think it's fine. You should keep trying, and then like I said, you should not give up. You should appreciate. I always appreciate failure more than success. When we get success, it does not teach us much, but when we fail, so please start, appreciating you being below average or being below, like every, small deeds. And then I think if you keep going, then I think back in my high school days, my teacher used to say, keep trying, try and try until you success. If you try, you may fail, but if you don't try, you are guaranteed to fail. So these lines are very simple, but I think it's true. So if you go with it, I'm very sure you will be able to do it. So best wishes for you.
This was actually really great motivation, Namgi, listening about a student who was average in school, who actually made it to the services and who did really well, gives a lot of motivation to students who are struggling
Yes,
right now. And
yes,
that
yes.
is
I
what I'm
think
getting in the
that
comments
one.
as well.
Okay, that indeed in government or in private sectors and even the teachers, like for instance, like these days, lots of admissions are going on. One of my friend recently shared, and I really agree with him. The students, those who get great marks, like for example, in 12, someone gets like above 90, and then he tops the nationwide. Every school wants to drag him in their school, come here, study with us. We will even not charge any fees, we will even pay you, if this kind of habits are there. But those students who are getting, let's say, who are below average, or those who failed, or those who made some small mistakes, like the schools, those same schools who are offering so much to the toppers, they are not giving, even not offering an seat, to not admitting those students in their school. So I think this kind of mentality, even the schools, be it in private or government or even the everywhere, I think this kind of mentalities need to be changed, because the toppers, those who topped and then did well, they need no motivation. They are already doing well. So why to support them? Let them do their own work, because they know what they are doing, and then they are already focused, very motivated. They got their strengths and kind of intelligence. Teachers or parents and every one of us, actually, we need to focus on the weaker section, right? Because they are the most, which one's motivation, who needs support. So I think this kind of changes we need to, instead of giving gold medal to all the toppers, the weaker ones, I think below average students, let's say, let's take that word again. So if the teachers, be it in schools or in universities and everywhere, I think giving next opportunity, to all of them is, I think it's very important.
Much as I would love to keep talking to you, Namge, of course, I have so much to talk about you. I've known you for so long. Much as I would love to have this conversation keep going, we have a time limit. And there's this last
Yes.
question because, of course, Namge has commitments and he also has to leave. And he was gracious enough to come to our platform for this amount of time. My last question to you is, do you have any words of appreciation for Ecoholics?
Okay. Um, all those who are working for this page, I know most of them personally. Sanat sir, and then Kartika, we have known for quite a long time. And then I personally know how much effort and then how much genuinely they work for this kind of work. So I would suggest all my friends who are preparing for some sorts of exams, you know, you need a guide. Of course, everyone knows that. So I think if you choose Ecoholics, it won't be a waste. And then the kind of dedication and then support they give, I'm very sure they will be able to help you, and then they will provide you the best possible. So trust Ecoholics and trust the process. I'm very sure you will land somewhere very great, and then every one of you can do great. Whether you are, a high achiever or a very low achiever, it does not matter. You keep going, like I said, and then having faith in yourself. You should trust yourself. You should have complete confidence in yourself, because other your neighbors, your friends, they would say anything, because uh, it does make lots of differences to you, but you should under say, like, from inner, you should be always, be able to recognize who you are, what are your capabilities, what are your skills, talents. So accordingly, you should plan your way, how to do it, how to go about, and then I think everything will be fine. And thank you so much for being with us, and I really enjoyed this one. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for agreeing to come to our platform, Namgay. It was great having you. And wholehearted thank you from the whole team of Ecoholics for coming onto this platform, spending this time with us, enlightening our students about the Royal Civil Services, about life, about Bhutan, about your experience with India, about everything that you shared with us today. It was just wonderful having you on our platform. So, on behalf of the whole team of Ecoholics, I would like to give a big thank you to you for agreeing to come here and being with us for this
Thank you.
time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanat sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I really enjoyed this live session. This is my first time live on Instagram, so it was really nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much,
much
Namgay.
for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you to our audiences. We'll have to take
Thank
off
you, all
now.
my friends.
Okay.